You're such an asshole.
I am not a financial advisor, and all the advice I give is wrong. You should not listen to me. And also, just so you know, we can't predict the future. So I don't want to hear any complaints. Well, but gold went down or silver went up. I don't want to hear any complaints. I'm giving you economic philosophy here, concepts, so you can go and make your own decision. Hello, Mr. Clare. I want to know if it's too late to buy gold or silver due to the dollar losing value. I have about 90,000 in the bank that I been saving since graduating high school. I work as an iron worker, making 34 an hour. That's not bad. My main goal is to buy a home, but how things are right now, I just don't see how I can. The job where I'm at is about to end, and there's no talk about where the next job will be. So I can imagine they will lay us off. So what can I do with my money? Is Bitcoin even an option? I don't mind spending more than $10,000 on precious metals, even if I have to. Maybe I sound paranoid, but I did not work my ass off just for save time to become worthless. Thank you, and thank you for your book, Worthless. That saved my life. You're the best. All right, so let's talk about what you're really concerned about is hedging against inflation. You not want inflation to erode the value of your dollars, of your money, right? And it's not, I mean, you can invest in gold and silver or even copper or palladium or other precious metals. You can invest in cryptocurrencies if you'd like, but I don't think you understand the concept of hedging against inflation because there are other things you can do than simply buying crypto now, bro, not even thinking about what the price is and all that. So let's first take a bird's eye long-term view of inflation and maintaining your purchasing power. You have $90,000 saved up. You are a younger man and you are making, I'm going to assume you're 22, 23, 24. Let's just say you're 25 even. Yes, $90,000 is a lot, but you know what's a lot more than a $90,000? All the money you're going to make into the future. And so before we even, I recommend this at Bachelor Pad Economics, before we even get into things like gold, silver, crypto, this or that, inflation bonds, the number one thing you could do to hedge against inflation is to invest in skills that increase the value of an hour of your labor. That is the number one thing you can do. Now, you're in kind of a perfect example. You're an iron worker, or maybe you're a welder, something, you're an iron worker. Are there other certifications you can invest in? Are there other forms of training you could take your money and invest in that will increase the amount you could charge for an hour of your labor from 34 to 68? What are those things you can do? Because and here's what's great about it. Labor, especially if it's in demand, is probably the most natural hedge against inflation. Because I like to use dentists as an example. Everybody needs dentists. Everybody needs tax accountants. It's not sexy, it's not glamorous, but you need them. Do you think these people worry about inflation eating away at their wages? No, they just increase the amount that they're charging to be on par with the market. And so the best thing for any individual to do is to find out, well, one, get a really good skill, which is what you already have, and then get a specialized skill. Just invest in making an hour of your labor more valuable because then, yes, again, you have $90,000, but the literally probably million of dollars that you're going to make over the course of your life could be increased to 2 million or 1.5 million or something like that. And that is the number one best thing you could do to hedge against inflation because it guarantees you could command a salary regardless of what the inflation is down the road. Now, after that, here's where I can't give you advice because no one knows what's going to happen to the market. Historically speaking, I have done the research on this. The S&P 500, assuming you're living in America, has historically been the best hedge against inflation. Right? That doesn't mean if you invest in the S&P 500 now, you take all $90,000, you throw it in the S&P, it won't be worth $40,000 tomorrow because of a major stock crash. All right? I think it was a 0.89 correlation coefficient or counter coefficient. Right? I'm just saying, you're saying, okay, well, where do I put my money? And this is in general a good thing because you want to diversify your investments. You want a well diversified portfolio. And that includes things like a stock market mutual fund, the S&P 500, some bonds, some real estate, maybe some precious metals, maybe crypto. And I recommend that in everybody's portfolio. But I personally can't tell you when to buy and how much of it to buy and what your allocation should look like. That is a job for a certified financial planner. But all the things you listed do kind of hedge against inflation in a certain way. More modernly, you've seen people, you say that you're entertaining housing. Well, if you buy a home, not only does that potentially provide a hedge against inflation, you keep in mind the value of your house can go down, the value of your property can go down. But if you live in it, you are saving yourself the rent, or assuming you don't pay cash, well, but you got $90,000, but let's just say you bought it cash. At minimum, you're saving yourself rent. So there's already a rent savings that you don't have to pay now had you not bought that home. Let's say you have a mortgage, which probably most people likely do. Okay, yeah, you still got to pay a mortgage in lieu of rent, but you're paying down the mortgage, which means you're building up equity in your home, so it's not all wasted. Right? We could talk about how to accelerate the amortization on your mortgage later. Build up equity faster, but that is also a cash flow benefit, not to mention you get to write, at least in the United States, you get to write off the interest from your taxes. So that's another benefit where you might be more inclined to buy property as a hedge against inflation, because it's not just gold and silver. You can't live in gold and silver. Gold and silver don't pay dividends. Gold and silver don't save you rent. A house will, right? Again, doesn't mean the house won't go down in value. It can happen. It happened in the past. I'm just saying, after you've lived a while, you're going to get this job. Like now, you don't know where your next job is going to be. So I'd probably wait. I'd probably hold off. But I'm just giving you an example. Housing is kind of an example that you could hedge against inflation at minimum by saving rent. Then now you're talking gold and silver, which is where everyone goes. Now, I don't even know what the price of gold and silver are. Let's look up gold price. And of course, no one's going to give me a nice simple, oh, look at that. Here's a nice simple chart. I thought it wasn't going to happen. All right. You're like, oh, the dollar's lost so much value against gold. I'm looking at it here. It's been pretty steady under 2,000. It's been fluctuating between 1,800 and 2,000 for the past 3 years, it looks like. So the dollar, at least in the past 3 years, has not lost any value against gold, right? But if you're worried about the dollar or any currency losing value, which is the whole definition of inflation, it's like, I'm afraid my currency is going to lose value against gold. Well, that means the price of gold is going to go up using that currency as a measure of the price. So if you're worried about inflation, you say, oh, but it's already lost a lot of it. Yeah, but if you're afraid it's going to lose more, you might want to get some. Now, I can't tell you how to acquire gold. I can't tell you when to buy gold. I can't tell you when to buy it now or later in the future or anything like that. But yes, over time, you should go and get yourself some precious metals. Now, I personally don't like gold because I personally buy physical precious metals. I don't buy paper precious metals, meaning I buy it on a stock market. And, oh, yeah, here's your certificate that says you own an ounce of gold. I don't do it that way. And I don't really follow gold all that much. I buy silver. I buy physical silver, junk, and the American Eagles. I always recommend people have 200 ounces of silver, but this is not as an investment. It is as insurance, which is the other aspect you want to consider hedging against inflation. You're not really investing in these assets in the hopes that the price goes up. Right? So that means there's something bad going in the economy because the dollar's collapsing or something like that. You invest it in the case that the currency does collapse and you have something of value, which is, again, as I pointed out before, should be your specialized labor, maybe a house you live in so you don't have to pay rent, but precious metals, okay. And I talk to Myron over at Fresh and Fit. He's like, hey, what should I say? You're too busy. Just go buy 200 ounces of silver. He's like, yeah, but what's going to happen to the price? I don't know. No one knows what's going to happen to the price. But your time is too valuable to be dicking around waiting for prices. Just go get 200 ounces of silver and be done with it. It's an insurance policy. And I think the price of silver did drop after it. Myron technically has a small loss on silver. He didn't buy it to make profit off of it. He bought it in case the dollar loses all of its value. And so, like, now I didn't buy 200 ounces of silver right off the bat. I slowly acquired it over time. Some of these silver dollars I've made money on, some I've lost money on. I don't care really about the ebb and flow of the price of the silver that I own. All I know is that the dollar goes to utter shit. I got silver and I can buy some things. So you could buy gold, you could buy silver. I recommend you own it physically. You can own it through like a brokerage account where you don't physically own it. You just have an account that claims that you own it. Some people like investing in mines, whether that's copper mines, silver mines, gold mines. So there's a dividend that pays with it. It's up to you. But as part of your well-balanced portfolio, over time, you should accumulate some precious metals. Not a lot. I can't tell you how much. I recommend myself 200 ounces of silver, but just buy a little bit. Right? So now all of a sudden, let's think about it. Maybe you buy a house or you buy some property. Now you got some precious metals, right? You invested in your wage or your skill set. So now you're commanding $60 an hour instead of 34. Now you're pretty well hedged. Might take 3, 4, 5 years, but you're doing pretty good. And now whatever happens to the dollar, what do you care? So I'm looking at gold. I mean, hasn't really changed all that much in 3 years. It's around $18.50 a dollar or $18.50 per ounce. Now, if I look at silver, let me take a look at silver prices. Silver price. Here's where, okay. Oh, wow, it came crashing down. Look at that. Oh, boy. Oh, maybe I'll go pick up some more. Silver, kind of the same thing. It's been hanging around $23 an ounce. It jumped up recently. Oh, look at that. Today it just dropped a little bit. Okay. It's just bumming around there at around $23 an ounce. You want to go pick some up and be done with it forever, not worry about it? There you go. Then you don't have to worry about precious metals no more. I mean, what would 200, I mean, you got $90,000, 200 times 20, well, was it at 27? Oh, hang on. 200 ounces. Now, it's trading at 25 now, but you're going to pay $10 premium to own the physical coin. So I'm going to times that times 30. So you're spending $6,000. All right. Here's the question to you. Would it be worth it to you mentally to have the insurance policy? You drop $6,000, you get 200 ounces of silver, and you never have to worry about it again. All right. So now your balance goes from $90,000 cash down to $84,000. And let's say the very next day, silver cuts in half. So now your investment of $6,000 is only worth $3,000. Do you care? Right? Are you going to sell it? Are you going to sell the silver the very next day? Or for $6,000, is it worth it to you, regardless of what happens to the price later, that you got 200 ounces of silver and now you actually have some form of hedge against hyperinflation? That's how I view precious metals. Right? Real estate's a little different because there's cash flow involved and you can live in it. But it's just something simple. So, if you're willing to lose $6,000 and you got yourself a nice little insurance, it's like car insurance. Yeah, you got to pay it. Yeah, you want to have it. Heaven help you if you got to use it. You don't want to use it. So there's that. And then when it comes to crypto, bro, I don't know anything about crypto. Do I own crypto? Yes. I bought it dirt cheap long ago. Right? But let's take a look at Bitcoin price. I know there's others, and like anything else, you should have a diversified portfolio of crypto. So Bitcoin is at 28,000. I just want to see the 5-year thing. Yeah, it's all over the place. It's all over the place. All right. But same thing with silver. Like, first, cryptocurrency is a pain in the ass to use. Like, you want to talk about an insurance product that's not like you're going to go buy something with it. But it is a pain in the ass to use. It's very not user-friendly. But I will probably be acquiring more crypto over time. Why? Because I only have Bitcoin. I would like to have some Ethereum and Litecoin. Am I going to cash in my life savings? No. But would I like to have around $10,000 extra in cryptocurrency? Yes. When I buy the $10,000 of cryptocurrency, am I going to get sand in my vagina because it dropped down to $5,000? No, because I'm not buying the crypto to make money on it. I'm not flipping. I'm not a day trader. I'm buying it as an insurance policy. So when all the Democrats come and say, we're going to take all your property because reasons, I'm like, oh, goodbye and adieu. And then I go to some other country, I cash in my crypto there, and now I'm not living in poverty. It is an insurance policy. And so, yeah, should you have some crypto? Sure. How much? I don't know. I have a general rule of thumb, have enough crypto that's the equivalent of 1 Bitcoin. Keep in mind, that's a goal to have like over a decade. You should be buying a little bit here and there, maybe on the dips, slowly getting yourself the position equivalent to 1 Bitcoin across several cryptocurrencies. Is it the optimal allocation? What happens if it goes down? That's not why, I even hate to say that's not why you're purchasing the crypto. You're purchasing it as an insurance policy. You don't have to worry again. So let's talk about it this way. Bitcoin is at 28,000, right? Let's say you drop $6,000 on some silver today, 200 ounces, you're done with the silver. Let's say you had $10,000, you want to buy, I don't know what, to get you a third of Bitcoin. It give you a significant amount of a Bitcoin, all right? So you drop another $10,000. So out of the $90,000, you spend 16,000, you're down to 74,000 US dollars, the majority of your money. Would you feel better than like, oh, I got a little bit of crypto, maybe I want a little bit more, I got my 200 ounces of silver, and ignoring the price of it afterwards, would you feel more secure about being hedged against inflation? If you would, cool. You know why that feels cool? Because that's an insurance policy. Do I like spending money on homeowners insurance? No. Do I like spending money on car insurance? No. But I'm glad I got it so that if, I don't know, a tornado hits my house or I get hit by someone who's driving from Nebraska because they drive for crap down there, I'm safe. I pay for the ease. I pay for the peace of mind. And again, I can't tell you what to do. I can't tell you what to buy a house. But over time, yeah, you should diversify. And me personally, if I had 90 grand in the bank and no silver, I'd just be done with it. There's a silver, I'm done. I don't care if it dropped down to 2,000 bucks afterwards. Don't care. Right? Because at least you're investing a little bit or diversifying, I should say. And if you want to know, should I say, do you have an IRA? Do you have a retirement fund? That's another thing you could do right off the bat. There you get a tax deduction. You don't have an IRA? You don't have a 401k? Well, get one. And then invest some money and get the tax deduction for it at least this year. Now you're exposed into the stock market or the bond market, depending on what you invest in. But you're right, sitting there on your ass with cash, that's not, yeah, now you're going to face inflation. You're going to sustain and suffer inflation. So, but yeah, it's unless you're saving that money for a house or something like a down payment, you got your eye on a piece of property, probably about time to start diversifying and investing in it. What that is, talk to a certified financial planner, not me. I'm just telling you what's on the menu. You get to choose whether you're going to order something from that menu and how much of it you're going to order. All right, let's go to the super chats, if there are any. There was one $50, $2. Realtors cleaned out 90%. Realtors cleaned out of 90%. Good luck ficing. 90% of the silver's been cleaned out. Well, I'm happy I got my silver early. All right, that's it. See you guys later. Toodles.